another day. Billions will kneel and pray. Anything to aid escape from the world so cold and gray.
And we're back with another episode of Bones and Tubs. We're here with you today on this glorious March day to give you the good news.
Yes. I'm fucking sleepy still.
Yeah, well, yesterday, me and my podcasting partner, we gave back to the community in a good way. I suggest a lot of people out there can do it, as long as you're not an intravenous drug user or have any bloodborne pathogens.
Apparently only 37% of the United States can donate blood.
Really?
According to their statistics.
As he just said, we donated blood yesterday.
Yeah. Red blood cells.
Red blood cells. We gave them back to the community because we said, you know what? Someone else can use some blood.
Or we just selfishly wanted all the t-shirts.
Yeah, we did get a t-shirt. I'm wearing it today, actually.
I was going to. But
I thought maybe we'd match today, but I didn't want to tell you what to wear, you know.
I know. I almost did.
No, we gave blood yesterday, and you know what? You should too.
Saving people's lives and stuff.
Exactly.
Stuff like that, you know.
Because, you know, you never know when somebody's going to get hurt and they need some blood.
I would appreciate it if I needed it. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
So, there's that.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely destroyed my left arm trying to find a vein, but...
Gotta maybe get back on that arginine life.
They found that sweet gold in the right arm, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Bring it in.
But before we get started today on what we wanted to talk about, we got some Patreon shout-outs to get out.
2 new patrons.
Ooh-wee.
$1 club. We got Rodney Coots. I know Rodney Coots.
Do you?
I've hung out with him.
Does he listen to the show?
I think so.
Well, that's cool.
Hi, Rodney.
Hi.
Yeah, we've smelled each other's lower intestines. We've done all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
You know, hung out together.
Yeah.
Things.
Turkey time?
Talked about life and our views, and good fellow.
That's good. That's good.
And then we've got Matthew DeFelsh. Matthew DeForge.
Matthew DeForge.
DeForge.
The 4G. There you go.
$20 club. We're going to get one of those XL t-shirts, have it mailed to you.
And probably some Boompa stickers, too.
Bumper stickers.
For you and your folk. Slap them on things. Wear that t-shirt with pride.
Yeah. Did we shout out one last week as well?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Well, your bumper stickers are on the way, too.
Yeah. You guys are going to get all that free stuff because you know what those folks did? They joined the Bones and Tubs on Patreon.
Helping us out.
They helped us out.
I almost used our Patreon money this morning. I was going to go, depending on what time the babysitter arrived, a.k.a. Bones' mama.
Yeah.
What time she got there, I was going to go to the Guitar Center and get those new microphones.
Well,
clearly she didn't get there early enough.
Yeah.
It's not her fault.
That's okay. That happens. Because we are in the market for some new equipment.
Might take the boy over there tomorrow.
So that, we get those crispy audios out to you guys.
Yeah.
You know, for at least me and my podcasting partner, our guests will still have to use the mics we use now.
Eventually we'll get a third one.
Yeah.
But these are still fine.
Yeah, these work just fine. I mean, I don't hear too many complaints from you guys out there about the quality of the audio, but we just want something a little bit crisper.
More, yeah. Yeah.
Crispy audio.
So that's coming.
But thank you guys.
We definitely appreciate your patronage.
Yeah, because of viewers like you, we're able to afford to buy new audio equipment for the show.
Indeed. It all goes back into the project.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not putting it up our nose.
Reinvestment.
We're not putting it up our butts.
It's not like we sit on our hands until that payment drops and then go buy, like $100 worth of booger sugar or anything like that.
Some skag.
Yeah. No, we don't do those things.
We're not drug addicts. Not over here anyway. The Bones and Tubs podcast.
But yeah, so thank you guys. And if you're not out there on the Patreon yet, you go ahead and go over there and do that. Support the cause, We wouldn't. Hopefully here soon we'll finally be able to use our caveman-like ways to give all that free premium audio to you guys who actually do contribute to the Patreon.
Yeah, we just need to get off of our lazy assholes and do it.
Figure out how to do it. I'm at a loss.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
We have the technology to do it,
But yeah, today I feel like it was kind of like it's related. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted to talk about something specific, and it sounds broad, but it's morality. Doing what's right.
Yeah.
Okay. what brought this up for me, and I was like, I almost like, we need to talk about this. It's just something that needs to be talked about. I saw a video from earlier this week where a man who is in hospice, dying of cancer.
Yeah.
Right? He's not going to live.
No. Stage 4, wasn't it? All the way back.
Yeah. He was in his last days, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he had some THC pills that he had on standby for when it got its worst. Like, basically, when it was time.
Yeah.
So that he wouldn't have to suffer in his last hours. For some reason, though, maybe somebody at the hospice or somebody associated with it thought he shouldn't have those things.
Mm-hmm.
So they called the proper authorities.
Fucking douchebags.
And the video is of the cops searching through this dying man's things. And he tells them straight up. He's like, what you're looking for is in my final hours bag.
Yeah.
The dude has a final hours bag. Okay? Okay, here's the thing. And this is exactly why I say when people are like, oh, well, the cops would never confiscate your guns.
The cops will do anything they're told to do.
If they repealed the Second Amendment or did something crazy like that. I'm here to tell you now, they'll do what they're told.
Yeah. They're order followers for a reason.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying all of them would.
I did rewatch the video last night, and it was encouraging to hear, at least the doctor even was like, do you have a warrant to do this?
Yeah.
You fucking douchebag.
I'm sure there's dissenters. There'll be people who dissent, but there'll be way more people who don't. Like that douchebag cop looking through that dying man's things. For the love of fucking God, he's not trying to distribute it. He's not trying to give it to kids. He's not trying to give it to other people. He's using it for his own fucking personal use.
Because he's dying of
Because
cancer.
he's fucking dying.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense, you know. Gotta get that jazz cabbage out of the hands of these people, make them criminals. The criminals.
Like, couldn't he have used some fucking discretion?
Yeah.
For God's sake. That's what I wanted to talk about today. And I know it's going to sound preachy, but here's the thing. It's so easy to do the right thing. Yeah. And here's the thing. We, as human beings, I believe, I have faith in this. This is one of the things I truly have faith in, is that we definitively know what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah, of course you'll have outliers, but at the same time, you can't judge an entire population on some outliers, right?
Yeah.
Turning rights into privileges?
Yes, that was the other thing I wanted to touch on today.
I thought of that this morning while I was standing naked under the water, you know, as I'll do from day to day. The whole gun thing, like, the Second Amendment wasn't made, you know, we've seen it on memes before. How many people actually read the Second Amendment, though?
Yeah.
Probably not that many. It wasn't made for hunting.
No.
It wasn't made for protecting your house from burglars. I mean, it applies to both of those things, but the actual cause was to prevent tyranny. Yeah.
I mean, that was the end game.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, you got to think, it was like, the Second Amendment is a multifaceted amendment. Yes, it did mean for hunting. Yes, it did mean for self-defense.
Yeah.
Yes, it did mean to stop tyrannical government. Mm-hmm. It means all those things at once.
It's just enumerating the fact that you, as a human being, have the right to defend yourself with any arms, not necessarily guns, but just that your right to bear an arm for self-defense will not be infringed.
What boggles my mind is the amount of people. I got into a forum the other day, and you know, Tubbs doesn't like communicating online. He thinks it's a poor medium.
Internet hermit.
It's a poor medium for internet discourse. Yeah. Okay, or poor medium for discourse. Mm-hmm. Like to actually have a discussion. I have as far as I'm concerned, I've probably won most arguments with people that I come across in person.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like when I'm in person, I'm able to discuss something with somebody that we don't agree on. I'm able to convey my message better to them. Right? It's hard to convey the nuances of a good debate over comment sections of posts.
Yeah.
But I did find myself the other day commenting on a post about guns.
Yeah.
I don't understand how I had to express to them that we have an inherent right to defend ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Personally.
Yeah.
You have a right to defend yourself.
It's a human right.
There's nothing that stops that.
No. And the Second Amendment doesn't give it to you.
It was there.
It keeps the government from taking it from you.
Exactly. your natural right to defend yourself has always been there.
That's the thing that kills me with all these conservatives. You know, they talk about people, they're afraid of these brown people coming over the border, right? When they're detained, not giving them constitutional rights. Constitutional rights are just human rights.
Yeah.
Get your fucking life together.
We could probably start living the example that we built this country upon in the first place, and that was the notion that it wasn't just citizens that had those rights.
That was literally there to enumerate a living person's rights that could not be taken away by a tyrannical government.
No matter where they came from.
No matter where they came from, no matter where they were, you know.
They're all...
Or we could just do what you were talking about this week, you know, and lean in, you know. Could lean all the way in. We could go forward with these red flag laws. We could, you know, people are getting... How many people get assaulted every year? Right?
Yeah.
Punched, slapped. Let's cut off everybody's hands.
I know for a fact that if you're related to a cop, your propensity for being assaulted is a lot higher.
Well, they can do it, though. Only cops should have firearms, and only cops should be able to beat their wives, you know? Because we elected them to be the chiefs of our society. So anyway, let's cut off hands to prevent assaults. It would probably also prevent accidents in cars because you can't drive without hands.
Yeah.
It's harder, you know?
Yeah.
Cut off feet to prevent people from running away or kicking you.
Oh, thank God, by the way, that our benevolent government here in Ohio has decided that we no longer will have to have a front license plate on our vehicles.
Yeah.
Thank God they gave us the self-serving purpose of that privilege back to us. And I told someone the other day, I said, and not to segue, but that's what this show's all about. Mark my fucking words. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. And when someone said this to me, like, oh, we won't have to have a front license plate anymore. I was like, you know what? That's great. I was like, but here's the dig. You're going to pay the same amount of money for those tags. But here's the thing. You're only getting one of them now.
Yeah. And when they come back later and decide that they want you to have two, you're going to pay more.
They're going to double it.
Yeah.
I guarantee. I fucking use my fucking magic crystal ball to know that like 5-6 years down the road, they'll be like, you know what? You know, it's been detrimental that we don't have this front license plate anymore. So let's go ahead and bring it back. But you know what? We're going to charge them more for it.
That's another great example of turning a right into a privilege. Right to travel, you need a license to drive.
Well, we've talked about that on the show before, haven't we?
I'm just, we're applying this new lens to everything. Yeah. What if we banned cars? Lean in, right? Lean all the way in.
Gee, I think you're taking my lean in philosophy.
I'm leaning in with it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. When I say lean in, I mean lean in on the good.
Oh,
don't double down on the bad.
Well, I was just about to get to the point where we cut off our genitals to prevent rape.
Oh.
And flashers, you know?
Yeah.
If none of us have genitals,
there would be no rape.
Yeah.
See, you're leaning on the bad.
I'm doing a thought experiment, you know?
Yeah, it's like you take Nietzsche's philosophy, right?
Yeah.
And he had a notion. So like people have taken what he said and ran with it, and they leaned in the wrong way, like you're facetiously doing right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's like, we need to find a way to have morality without religion. Mm-hmm. That was his, because he saw that religion was failing, right? But he knew we still needed morality, right? Mm-hmm. And he was trying to find a way around having morality without having religion. But instead of people leaning on that, like they leaned hard on the shit where he's like, we killed God. God is dead, right? Mm-hmm. And then they just fucking went like full bore with it and went full bred fucking nihilism with it. Like they completely misinterpreted the message. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I guess it's the same thing they did with Jesus,
Yeah. Jesus, don't be a douchebag,
Yeah.
Love other people. Don't take no shit, though.
But, like, and that's what I said. You were leaning in facetiously on the wrong things.
I'm just thinking, of all the things that happen that are bad, if we can just preemptively strike. I mean, it's the same thing red flag laws are. It gives people the right to, it creates a snitch brigade of family members, medical professionals, or probably a neighbor that doesn't like you, like that whoopsie across the street over there.
You got to bleep that out.
I'm going to. But
can I make the bleep sound right now?
Oh man, sure, go ahead.
Whoopsie.
There it is. But anyway, that
whoopsie
across the street there, that he could just call the police and be like, he's out at 3 a.m, brushing his penis with a toothbrush. Mm-hmm. I don't think he needs to have a firearm, and they come and take your guns away. I mean, that's a massive violation of natural law.
Yeah. With no implication that I was going to hurt anybody. I just wanted to brush my brush my penis with a toothbrush.
Brush your teeth with a penis?
So, yeah.
But that's what your neighbor wants to do because he's a
whoopsie. Yeah.
Know?
And, this goes hand in hand. I wanted to make another drawn comparison here. Like, anybody that believes that it's not possible that they could possibly repeal the Second Amendment or do anything like that is very short. They have a very short memory on history. I want to...
right, no memory.
I want to cite real quick, okay?
Yeah.
Just in American history, they once got a majority to say, hey, you know what? You know that liquid that mankind has had since the beginning of civilization?
The one that we ferment and drink, and now we're finding ways to use as fuel?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and ban that.
Yeah. And we'll go ahead and create an entire criminal underbelly that makes a fortune.
Yeah.
Later.
That still exists today because of that.
Yeah. Shout out Kennedy family.
Yeah.
know?
But if you don't think our government's capable of doing something like that, you're sadly mistaken. And in the course of things, there is a definitive group on the fringe, on the left, who are winning minds on this whole notion.
Yeah,
I mean, when you have presidential candidates saying that the United States Constitution is a document that should be changed and should be, basically burnt, throw out all the old shit, remake a new one.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Well, it's not just the same type of great as loving Donald Trump when you see him in champion of red flag laws. I'd rather take the guns away now and then figure it out with due process later.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
I mean, red flag laws virtually get rid of due process.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You, as a citizen, not even as a citizen, you as a human being, have a right to due process.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot be punished for a crime before you've committed any crime.
Well,
before there's been any proof that you committed a crime.
There's all kinds of examples of that, DUI checkpoints.
Oh, yeah. And we talked about that on the show before, too, is the notion that DUI is more or less just you're getting punished for pre-crime because you had the propensity to cause a crime.
I heard there's a new federal law going into some form of review, too, where they are going to ban a nationwide sale from private individuals of firearms.
Yeah. That's in the works.
So that's pre-crime, too, then. That assumes everyone's a criminal until proven innocent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, they're trying to finally undo what they've called for years the gun show loophole.
Yeah. We ought to get rid of knives, too.
Well, that's funny, is I just saw an article earlier today from England about the military talking about how they might have to step in and crack down on the London knife crimes.
Man, that's good. But if they just got rid of knives, it would stop, I also heard that the French protesters are getting shot with live ammunition now. The yellow vest movement.
Huh.
I think I sent you that article or tagged you in it.
Yeah.
I don't think we talked about that at all this week, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Unarmed people with no guns getting shot by police.
Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's great.
And I'm sure they do it here, too.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
This is what we've come to.
Did I say Michael DeForge? Because it's definitely Matthew. Did I say Matthew originally?
Well, now you're finishing it, and you're saying Matthew DeForge.
Matthew DeForge, $20 club.
Apologize, Matthew.
Love you. Hopefully I said Matthew earlier, and they'd be like, why are you saying it again? You already said it once.
God damn.
Yeah. I doubt you talk that way, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
not good with voices.
I'm not good with most things.
90%
of the time I wear boots with zippers on the side, which is like the 2019 version of Velcro,
Listen, man, I'm wearing moccasins right now. They don't even have laces on them.
Can't tie those.
Slip them on.
Yeah.
You're good for the day.
Don't slip on anything, though.
I mean, it's my day off. I'll wear whatever the fuck I want.
Don't slip on slip-ons.
Yeah.
Come on.
But yeah, no, so back to this whole, morality thing, right?
Yeah, you can't legislate morality.
And we know what's right. You don't even need, that's the thing. I think this goes back to that thing you talked that movie, K-Pax.
Yeah. Mark Passio talked about it with the alien that came from outer space, and he was asked by humanity, various human beings, what kind of government you guys have up there? He's like, we don't need a government. We don't have a government. So, well, how do you know what's right and wrong then? Everything in the universe knows what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
Every sentient being, anyway.
I almost feel like here's the thing. Let's hash this out on the show because I just want to figure this out.
Yeah.
Now, in one sense, I totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But here's the problem, is that, unfortunately, what people perceive as being right sometimes isn't right at all. Here's the thing. Say for example, politicians do this all the time, where they're like, this may not seem like the best thing for you, but we know what's best for you.
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you elect a group of kleptocrats to tell you, basically what they're going to do. They're your rulers now. Yeah,
and I'll also reiterate something I've said on the show multiple times, and that's that the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah, and if it's any indication, like the roads in the United States, they're terrible. They're terrible fucking roads. Just using that, what's the Kybalion law, of levels? Road to hell would be equivalent to the roads of Ohio.
Yeah.
I can't think of the law.
Well, don't worry, because the governor just raised our gas prices to cover the cost of repairing those roads, bud.
I'm not trying to go against your earlier argument that you shouldn't argue online, but I definitely got into some arguments this week.
Oh, yeah.
The Mike DeWine Facebook page.
Well, that's the thing. Gas taxes are whack.
Yeah, whack. I got onto 2 of his posts. One of them, he looks really gross, just thievy, right?
Yeah.
And I said, you look like you have a weak, wet handshake. And some older lady got on there and commented on my post, and she said, you don't look very manly yourself, and tagged me in it. And I said, you do.
Yeah.
And then I put a gif of Miss Doubtfire.
Nice. Did she ever comment back on that?
No, she shut the fuck up. She knows what time it is.
Yeah. Champion.
You got to get up pretty early in the morning to out-hate this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm pretty hateful.
I understand. I'm right there with you.
I was also on the, this is just a, shoot the shit comment. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but sometimes I forget that we're talking to tens of thousands of people.
Yeah.
So just me and you talking. I was on the Butt Chuggers Anonymous page on Facebook, and I saw that the one of the hosts had made a comment that was one of those pictures that said, comment on the person above you and say what their profession is. So I saw his was the most recent comment. I said, former child porn star, current face model.
Yeah.
I posted it, and it ended up attaching itself to a random female. Rest in peace to me.
You're dead.
I was burned alive, yeah.
Yeah. Did you get torched?
Yeah, and not too bad. It wasn't too bad. She didn't say anything back, but somebody else said that I look like an explorer and an adventurer that gets lost in the city park.
I'm okay with it. Yeah. That's not that bad.
No, it's pretty
in the grand scheme of torching, it's like this week I took a pretty good torching earlier in the week. Yeah. It comes with the territory working at the Factory of Sadness.
Yeah. Torchings are going to happen.
And I got torched for like 45 minutes straight. You know what? I needed it.
I blame the Miller, though.
I do blame the Miller. It's he initiated the torching.
Not to say his name is Miller, but he is in fact a Miller.
And he wouldn't step up the plate to the person doing the torching to let him know that he was the one that said it.
Think about it in the terms of like warfare, right? If we're all in trench holes, trench lines, and he's talking shit to the opposing army and they start throwing that flamethrower, is he going to get up and run in front of the flamethrower for you?
Yeah.
No, you're going to eat that.
Yeah.
And he's going to laugh the entire time.
Yeah, and it's like, it reminds me, like, he should have stepped up. Like, look at the scene from, like, Full Metal Jacket at the beginning when he's going around and he's giving the drill sergeant's giving that spiel. And the one guy thinks it's cute to make a comment, right? Basically, in that scene, he goes up to the one guy he thinks it is, and he starts berating him. And then the one guy who actually did it steps up and says, I'm the one who said it, right? Except that part never happened. He just went ahead and let me fucking take the whole fucking torching.
I think he smiled about it too.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
I'm sure he did.
That's good.
But like I said, you know what? I needed it. You need that kind of fucking like ego dismantling thing to happen.
In order to get rid of these hurtful feelings, and these hurtful words, we should also probably ban mouths.
Yeah.
Cut out tongues. Punch out teeth, sew mouths shut.
That's why when people get all fucking like triggered and shit by like someone calling them a name, it just like, I'm like, God damn, dude. And I know you know this from working in the Factory of Sadness. If like these fucking assholes couldn't take 5 minutes in that motherfucker, because I have been fucking just straight burned. I've been burned for an entire 8-hour shift before
for years.
Yeah. I was like, so I could tell you, and here's the thing, I'm still breathing, I'm still doing this show, so I'm here to tell you right now.
Just makes you feel better, stronger maybe, or more dead inside at least.
Well, and it might have the reverse way of motivating you, you know what I mean? Like, I've been going to the gym, and I've been losing weight and getting strong.
Yeah.
But I'm still a chunky guy, and that was the low-hanging fruit that I got torched for 45 minutes.
At least you're not a...
Whoopsie!
But yeah, I don't know. I think, not to facetiously lean in too far, but I'm going to lean all the way in. What if we just went down the entire Constitution and then did the exact opposite, right?
So, like the First Amendment, you wouldn't have a right to say anything.
No, well, you can't speak if your mouth is shut, So
cut out the tongue.
Cut the tongue out, knock the teeth out, sew it shut. Maybe pour liquid gold in there.
Cut off your hands.
Cut your hands off.
Second Amendment's covered.
Yeah. Feet, too, just in case you get somebody learns how to shoot with a nub so then they can't run away from the police.
Yeah.
Let's see. The right to basically not have your private effects tampered with. We'll just get rid of private property.
Yeah.
We'll make everything state-owned,
Yeah, and, like, with the third, they're just allowed to, they just move the military forces right into your house.
Well, yeah, if you don't have private property, yeah.
Yeah, the cops live with us now.
Yeah, they live wherever the fuck they want.
So you don't have to worry about getting busted for drugs. Well, one, you don't have hands to do the drugs.
Yeah.
Two, you don't have a tongue, so you can't swallow the drugs.
Mm-hmm. Can't even get them past the sewing thing. So you're just waiting to starve to death.
Yeah.
Unless you have intravenous food, which, we'd have to leave that up to our benevolent rulers to decide if we got fed through an IV tube or not. So that'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Big Pharma would support that, too. I'm going to go home and have a $26 million check in my mailbox because of all these ideas they're going to want me to run for president.
Yeah.
And, just...
Yeah, the force covered. You got the cop living with you, so there's nothing you don't have to worry about.
You have no private property to worry about.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, here's the question. See, this is when your lean-in kind of runs into a hitch.
Okay.
Because if you're going against the fifth, that means you have to say things that incriminate yourself.
Yeah.
Right? But you've sewed the mouth shut. So how are you gonna figure that one out?
You'll just do like a fingerprint, right? Except it'll be a nub print. You just have to sign it.
Like they'll write out your confession and then you just nub print it.
Guarantee it, yeah.
And they'll force you to because they can't say not to.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't even want to not. You just only want to serve Big Brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Mm-hmm. Find any holes in this yet, or you going strong with me?
No, I'm trying to go through it right now to figure out if there is any holes. Okay, so then I guess it all just works out. So you wouldn't have a speedy trial or anything like that. They could just deter you for years,
or they could kill you. Right?
You know what? Why don't they just when this all works out, they could just cut off your hands, sew your mouth shut,
let you die,
throw you in a box,
and
let you die.
Yeah, and then the depopulation, the depopulists, they get what they want. We have a much lower global population.
Yeah.
The communists win because everything's controlled by the government.
Yeah.
And, the rights of mankind, are just no longer right. Rights really only get in the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, really, if you wanted to go back to that stage 4 cancer patient, his situation, they should have just went in there and blew his fucking brains out.
Yeah. Put him out of his misery,
Right. Really, that's probably the best thing to do. I'm not sure what you think, too, but I think if we just had 100% tax rate too, that would decrease the amount of taxes, the future taxes that we needed to have.
Exactly.
So just if 100% of our income went to the government, then they wouldn't have to raise. I think we could both agree that we would love to never have new taxes.
Definitively.
We could get rid of all other taxes and just tax income 100%.
And they just give us everything we need. Or we talked about the other day.
Everything they think we need.
Yeah.
Because they know better than we do. Because if you believe that humans can't be trusted, right? If I can't be trusted to sell you a firearm, you can't be trusted, right?
Yeah.
Humanity as a whole can't be trusted. Therefore, we must elect people who can't be trusted to rule over people who can't be trusted. Doesn't that make sense? It makes sense to me.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from.
Okay. I'm just making sure. I'm a little foggy. Because I donated a pint of my blood. 1/8 of my blood supply is now in the hands of this company.
Yeah, don't say the state.
No, I said company. Yeah,
they'll act like you didn't give that shit for free.
I'm just saying, I'm a little slow. I had some coconut water on the way over here. Did you know you can use coconut water
for a transfusion?
I did not know that until recently.
I've heard that a few years ago.
Science, but I drank some of that. It's coming back to me slowly, but here we are.
I'm sorry. I wanted to hit something that's very conspiracy-like, but it's still in the making so far.
Okay.
But
still on the hot sheets.
Yeah, it's still on the hot sheets, so the dust hasn't settled, but we do know this. So anybody that knows, there was a plane crash in Ethiopia this last week, right?
Yes.
Which we just talked about plane crashes on the last episode, and we've talked about them before.
Yeah.
As being a good way to get rid of people that you don't want around. Mm-hmm. Well, a big group of the people on that plane were heading to an environmental conference.
Okay.
So climate stuff.
I see.
And then they're just dead.
That's good. That's excellent. That's really good, you know. I'm going to use this as a segue to point everyone's attention to the Higher Side Chats and check out the episode with, what was his name? Ben Livingston? Not Ben Livingston. The guy from Suspicious Observers. It's an excellent episode. Because that will thoroughly... You know, we talked before, not that long ago, in our climate change episode about what we feel climate change is, and we alluded to a lot of the Suspicious Observer guys' work. So it's only kind of a universal serendipity that he ends up on one of my favorite podcasts.
Oh, dude's a smart cookie, too, man.
Oh, for sure. That's a great listen. Hopefully he doesn't get on a plane anytime soon.
He probably avoids them at all costs. Just saying.
I think it's badass, too, that he crowdfunded his entire life through Patreon. You got that mobile solar observatory that he lives out of. Mm-hmm. He lives in the New Valley of the Sun. Because he does such a good job that people were like, hey, bro, here's some monies.
Here you go. Here's all this money. Use it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like us, you know, people give us money.
I know, people love us.
Ben Davidson.
Ben Davidson, yeah, check that out. That was a great episode. Mm-hmm. You're
frightening.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Frightening.
Yeah, it's good though. It's good to have, you know, I like his sign off that he has is no fear. You know? Yeah. Don't have any fear. Just know.
I mean, he's optimistic to an extent. Because he's like, I mean, we're the children of the survivors of the last cataclysm.
Yeah, there's tunnel systems under every country to prove that we're going to dig down into the earth.
Yeah, hey, also, I think there was something else that we wanted to talk about. It was to give a warning to those of our listeners who live on the West Coast.
Fuck, I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, and this is important because we do have listeners on the West Coast and we do care about you.
We have a shitload of listeners. I mean,
we tell you every episode at the end, we love you, we really do. And we really do love all of you.
Yeah, deeply and truly.
If you haven't seen anything about this, which I hope you have,
yeah,
there are some serious other governments who are talking about a really big earthquake that's about to hit the West Coast.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, you guys need to be prepared.
I would get the fuck out. They said 2 weeks.
Yeah, I would
put it around March 20th.
I would pack it up and leave if it was me.
I'd just go on vacation for a couple days, you know?
Yeah.
Take it inland.
Fucking go, because it's coinciding with the vernal equinox, and that's the season of sacrifice.
Yeah.
So, like...
there's a whole lot of fuck shit lined up there.
Yeah.
Plus, I saw that FEMA has a thing planned for the 22nd. Over there on the West Coast. Mass casualty drill.
That's great, isn't it?
It's good. They're just, you know, preparing.
But this goes all the way from Oregon down into Mexico.
Yeah. Russia and
England.
The United Kingdom, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, United Kingdom. I say England, but United Kingdom.
England prevails.
Yeah.
They predicted the last one, too, in Brazil.
Yeah, and they both come out and said...
Get the fuck out, bro.
Their science is looking bad.
Yeah.
9.0 or over.
And if you go to Google and type in any of those search terms as far as like coming earthquake, West Coast, I got led to a link from Oregon.gov where they admit that there is going to be at least a 9.0 earthquake on that fault line.
Yeah.
It's going to create a 100-meter tall wall of water tsunami inland. They just don't know when.
So, needless to say, for all of our listeners that live out on the West Coast, we would suggest to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
If you can't get the fuck out, which I understand, because if someone literally told me today, there's going to be some huge cataclysm here in Ohio, which I told my partner, I was like, I'm glad we live here because nothing happens. Like people...
Hey, we're back.
And we're back. But there's going to be a serious cataclysm, according to these two groups.
Yeah.
And I'm concerned.
It didn't show up in the news the way that propaganda does.
Yeah.
You know, you normally, if you start to see these things, they get a lot of public support about an asteroid or some fucking dumb shit that's going to have, solar flare is going to happen. Like, we just know it. It's going to happen next Tuesday. You know?
Yeah.
This didn't happen that way. This came about, what I feel is organically, came out on all of my trusted sources, one by one. They all started to point to it. So, I'm probably wrong, like I am with most things, but it's something to pay attention to.
Yeah, and like I said,
look into it. Fuck.
Yeah, it's better to be cautious in these cases because, like, one, you don't want to get swept away by a giant tsunami.
Nobody wants those problems.
And it's like I said, we live in Ohio. And people always make fun of us because they say we're boring and nothing ever happens here. But
flyover state.
But here's the thing. Yeah. It's boring and nothing ever happens here.
Right. We're also better, I think, well-rounded maybe because we don't get to live in paradise all the time.
Yeah, I get it. It's cool to live in California because it's like fucking 80 degrees and it like rains for like 10 minutes at a time.
It's also the perfect land for homeless people.
Yeah. Just be careful. I mean, we love you guys out there who live a California way and Oregon way.
I was shocked when I saw how many people listen to us from California.
And even, I think we have a couple listeners from Mexico, too, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you guys be careful.
I like to think it's Jeff Berwick.
Could be.
You know?
But please be careful. We care about you guys.
Deep care. Truest of love.
But, yeah, I wanted to hit on that before the end of the episode.
Just in case my nightmare scenario in my head plays out where they've blocked every form of news with anything having to do with the San Andreas fault line or any of that. I'm not going to tag this with any of those things. So only our listeners will get it if that's the case.
Exactly. And our listeners get it, and then they pass the word on to their loved ones and friends.
And then you GTFO.
I mean, if I found out, like, someone messaged us and said, listen, say this happened, and they messaged us and like, listen, we wouldn't have, like, known about it or survived if you guys hadn't have said something about it. That would, like, fill my heart with so much happiness.
Yeah, it would, I would dump out a little bit of hate to put some love in there.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, I think that about wraps it up for the show.
That's good. It was a post-blood draw podcast.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think it touched on, the big topic today was morality.
Yeah, we really figured out that instead of trying to protect rights, we should just get rid of all the rights.
Yeah.
You know, because that makes the most sense. That's where we're headed.
Yeah.
If you trust the government. So, there's that little thought nugget.
Yeah. Well, why don't you go down and check us out on Instagram.
Instagram.com/Bones and Tubs. We're growing up there.
Once again, you go over to that Patreon.
Patreon.com/Bones and Tubs.
You can join Matthew DeForge and Rodney Coots.
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
You did.
Oh. Join them on the Nation.
Yeah. We can't thank you guys enough.
Yeah. We got a Facebook, of course.
Facebook.com/Bones and Tubs.
Go check us out on Podbean. Leave us a review.
Yeah.
Screenshot it. You'll probably get some stickers.
Send you some stuff. Send you some of our blood.
Yeah.
You know, maybe.
Might take a while. I just gave some.
Yeah. You know. Well, don't be greedy. We've got eight pints.
It's a blood. But we'd like to thank fuck.
Yeah.
We'd like to thank you all for listening.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
Hopefully you had fun.
We hope you join us next time.
Hopefully we made you hate the government.
Yeah. We hope you have a good week, and we hope to see you next time.
We love you.
We really do.
It's a complete reverse